You're sitting in front of your laptop. The camera is on. You're trying to smile naturally, speak clearly, and look confident. But somewhere on the other side of that screen, an AI may already be turning your interview into data. Your words, your pauses, your speech patterns, your facial movements, your tone, and possibly signals that a system claims can tell it something about your personality, communication style, or suitability for a job. You will never see the score. You may never know exactly what was measured. And if you don't get the job, you may never know why. You might spend the evening replaying the interview in your head. Did I ramble? Did I look nervous? Was that answer too short? Did I smile enough? But what if the problem wasn't your answer? What if the system misunderstood you? Welcome to Ethics Engine. Today, we're looking at one of the most uncomfortable uses of AI in the workplace, the automated job interview. The idea sounds simple. A company has thousands of applicants. It can't interview everyone. So instead of asking a recruiter to watch every interview, software can help screen candidates at scale. One well-known example is HireVue, which became synonymous with AI-assisted video interviewing. Candidates might record answers to standardized questions. The system can then help employers evaluate or rank applicants using information extracted from the interview. But here's where things get complicated. What exactly is the AI looking for? That depends on the system, the vendor, and the employer. Some automated interview systems analyze speech. They can examine things such as vocabulary, response structure, speaking patterns, or other features of what a candidate says. Some systems can also analyze aspects of the audio signal itself. And historically, HireVue became particularly controversial over claims that AI could assess candidates using facial expressions and other visual characteristics. The company later moved away from facial analysis assessments for hiring. That's an important distinction, because the phrase AI watches your face can make it sound as though every modern interview platform is secretly reading your emotions. That's not true. But the broader concern remains very real. Companies can use algorithms to extract signals from human behavior and turn those signals into hiring decisions. And that raises a strange question. What exactly is a hiring algorithm supposed to understand when it watches you speak? Imagine you're asked, "Tell us about a time you handled a difficult customer." You answer. You're nervous. You pause for half a second. Maybe your voice gets quieter. Maybe you look away while remembering what happened. A human interviewer might understand. They're thinking. An algorithm doesn't necessarily understand thinking. It sees measurable signals, a pause, a change in pitch, a particular phrase, a particular pattern of speech. And when those signals are converted into numbers, something deeply human becomes strangely mechanical. Your personality becomes a data set. Your voice becomes a feature. Your face becomes information. And your interview becomes a prediction. Now, imagine what that feels like. You're not simply answering questions anymore. You're monitoring yourself while you answer. Am I looking at the camera? Am I smiling? Do I sound enthusiastic enough? Was that pause too long? Should I sit up straighter? You begin performing confidence rather than simply communicating. And the irony is brutal. The candidate who is most anxious about being judged may become the person most focused on appearing confident. The interview becomes a second job. You're answering the question, while simultaneously trying to guess what the machine wants to see. For some people, that pressure may be particularly difficult. Consider someone with a strong accent. Their grammar may be excellent. Their ideas may be excellent. Their professional experience may be excellent. But an automated system processing speech doesn't necessarily understand their background. Now, consider someone who communicates differently, someone who is neurodivergent, someone who doesn't naturally maintain constant eye contact, someone whose facial expressions don't always match their emotions, someone experiencing intense interview anxiety, or someone from a culture where enthusiasm isn't expressed through the same facial expressions, gestures, or vocal style expected by an interviewer trained on another population. A human might recognize context. A machine may simply see a pattern. And this is where the idea of objectivity becomes complicated, because a machine can measure something precisely without measuring something meaningful. A thermometer can tell you the temperature. It cannot tell you whether you're a good parent. A stopwatch can tell you how quickly someone ran. It cannot tell you whether they would make a great manager. And facial movement is measurable. Voice pitch is measurable. Speech rate is measurable. But measuring those things doesn't automatically tell us whether someone will succeed at a job. That's the uncomfortable gap between measurement and meaning. There's another problem. Job interviews are already stressful. For many candidates, the stakes aren't theoretical. This might be the interview that determines whether they can pay rent, whether they can support their family, whether they can finally leave a job they hate, whether months of unemployment finally come to an end. Now, put a camera in front of them. Tell them an algorithm is evaluating them, and suddenly every movement feels important. You become hyper-aware of yourself. You hear your own voice differently. You notice your face. You wonder whether you're talking too quickly. Then the interview ends. The recording disappears. And you're left with uncertainty. No recruiter calls. No explanation arrives. Just an automated email. Thank you for your interest. And that's it. This is where algorithmic hiring can feel uniquely powerless. When a human rejects you, you can at least imagine what happened. Maybe they preferred another candidate. Maybe your experience wasn't quite right. Maybe they simply didn't connect with you. But when an algorithm rejects you, the decision can feel almost impossible to argue with, because you don't know what it saw, you don't know what it valued, and you may not even know whether an AI influenced the decision. You can't ask a machine, "What did I do wrong?" And you certainly can't explain, "I wasn't looking away because I was uninterested. I was trying to remember the example you asked for." That's the fundamental problem with automated judgment. Context disappears. So, why use these systems at all? The answer is understandable. Scale. Large companies can receive enormous numbers of applications for a single position. Human recruiters have limited time. AI can process information quickly. It can standardize questions. It can help organize candidates. And companies may believe algorithms can make hiring more consistent. There's also an appealing promise: objectivity. A recruiter has biases. A recruiter can have a bad day. A recruiter can make assumptions based on someone's appearance, accent, school, age, or personality. So perhaps a machine seems like the solution. But here's the problem. AI doesn't eliminate bias. It can automate it. If a model is trained using historical hiring decisions, it can learn patterns from those decisions. If certain groups were historically favored, the system may reproduce those patterns. And even when a company doesn't intentionally discriminate, seemingly neutral signals can create unequal outcomes. That's why transparency matters. Candidates need to know what the system is evaluating. Companies need to understand whether their tools produce systematically different outcomes for different groups. And independent experts need enough information to test those claims. Otherwise, we're left with a strange arrangement. The company gets a sophisticated prediction. The candidate gets silence. There are ways to make this process less opaque. First, transparency. Candidates should be told when AI is being used to evaluate them, not buried in a privacy policy, not hidden in a 40-page terms of service document. Clearly. Second, human oversight. An algorithm should assist a hiring process, not become an invisible final authority. If an AI system flags someone as a weak candidate, a human should be able to review the evidence. Third, candidate rights. People should have meaningful information about what data is collected, how it is used, and whether automated systems significantly influence employment decisions. And fourth, independent auditing. Companies shouldn't simply accept a vendor's claim that a system is fair. They should test it. Does it work consistently across accents, across demographic groups, across different communication styles? Does it measure genuine job-related ability, or simply reward candidates who behave like the people represented in its training data? These questions are becoming increasingly important as governments and regulators around the world examine the use of AI in employment. The European Union's AI Act, for example, treats many employment-related AI systems as high risk, bringing stronger requirements around risk management, data governance, documentation, transparency, and human oversight. The broader principle is simple. If an algorithm can influence whether someone gets a job, the person being judged deserves to know. Maybe the most unsettling part of AI hiring isn't that machines are becoming better at understanding us. It's that they're increasingly being trusted to make decisions about us. A job interview used to be a conversation. Two human beings sitting across from each other. One person asking, "Who are you?" and the other trying to answer. Now, that conversation can become a recording. The recording becomes data. The data becomes a score. And the score can become a career decision. Maybe the technology will eventually become accurate enough to make that process genuinely fairer. But accuracy isn't the same thing as understanding. And efficiency isn't the same thing as justice. So here's the question. Would you rather be interviewed by a human or by an AI that analyzes your face and voice? And why? Tell us in the comments. Because the future of hiring may depend on something very simple. Whether we decide that being human is still something worth understanding. If this made you uncomfortable, you're not alone. Hit subscribe. Tomorrow we look at something even more personal.